Hi everybody. So I am just curious as to environmentally friendly items through my business. So I've been trying to figure out what constitutes environmentally friendly. I know a lot of people think that stuff that's more natural, that's less processed, is better, but in my mind that might not necessarily be the case, because I know that you can get, yoga mats and stuff like that that are made with more natural products rather than made with plastics. Like, I was looking into watches, and there was some wooden watches that you can get. There's also metal watches and plastic watches. So obviously the plastic watches are having to be made in a factory with oil products, and they have to be processed and made, so that would cause pollutants. So obviously that's not good for the environment. But to get a metal watch, you also have to take raw materials and put it into a factory and turn it into the metal watch. Now, I mean, metal watches might last a lot longer than a plastic watch, because plastic watches will eventually break, which means you need to make more plastic watches than what you probably need to make with metal watches. But with these wood watches that I was looking at, obviously a tree has to be cut down to make a wood watch. I mean, to make a metal watch, you need to dig a mine and get the metals. To make a plastic watch, you have to frack. Now, that seems to be the most popular way to get oil to make the plastic watch. So you're still cutting down a tree to make a wooden watch, and you still have to take it into a factory. You have to mold the pieces into the shape that you need. So obviously you're still using electricity, you're using whatever you need to power the plant to be able to make the watches, because it's not like they just take wood and just hand carve these wooden watches. Now, the one thing that I can agree with a watch that would make the watch more environmentally friendly is not having to use batteries. So there is watches that use your body's motion to wind the watch to keep power in it. So I mean, I think those are better and more environmentally friendly watches than watches that use batteries. So usually they're a little bit more expensive of a watch, but the fact that you don't have to pay someone to open up your watch to constantly change batteries, and the fact that those batteries are constantly not having to be bought and then thrown into a landfill or recycled, because I mean, a lot of them are metal and then they have other ingredients. So I mean, they should be recycled, and when they're recycled, to reuse them takes a factory again to break the materials apart and then to reproduce it. So obviously batteries aren't good for the environment, but if you can have a battery-less watch, that would be more environmentally friendly. So I don't necessarily think, though, that these wood watches are necessarily more environmentally friendly. I mean, same with these yoga mats that are made with other materials. I mean, those are more natural materials than the plastic that they make most yoga mats out of. But you're once again having to kill a plant to make it. So I mean, if you got coconut fibers, like from the coconut hair or whatever, like what you get for rig mats. I mean, if you're just taking that off of the coconut anyways and you're using that to make something else out of it, then that is more environmentally friendly, because you're now taking something that used to be a waste and you're making something with it that wouldn't have existed. So if you can even compact that down to the point where it's smoother than a rig mat and make a yoga mat out of it, I mean, that might be a better option than plastic yoga mats. So I'm just kind of doing this video because I'm kind of curious as to what other people think as well. Like, do you find that wood watches are more environmentally friendly than a metal watch or a plastic watch, just because they break down in a landfill better if they do happen to be thrown out? I mean, that's a good argument as well, you know, that the wood watches will break down a lot more and there'll be less left over. Like, obviously you still have metal components like the gears and stuff on the inside of the watch, but I mean, for the most part it would break down more than a metal watch and faster than a plastic watch. So does that make it more environmentally friendly? I'm not too sure, because like I said, you still have to cut down a tree that maybe never needed to be cut down. But I mean, if you're using materials from a cut down tree that can't be used for anything else because they're smaller bits and pieces left over, then I mean, then maybe you can say that they're more environmentally friendly. But I'm not sure if anybody produces them like that. So if you guys want to leave some comments about what you think environmentally friendly means, I'd be interested to hear it. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you all have a good day.